Good evening, Steely people. Welcome to the Jack Lambert's Teeth special vodcast, which is what is actually behind me before you start questioning what the hell I'm doing storing teeth in my apartment. They are Jack Lambert's teeth from the Hall of Fame, which I thought I'd just show everybody because it's a bit weird. We are waiting on Ian, who booted up his laptop and or whatever else he's got, and it's doing updates. So hopefully he'll be with us soon. We're just going to go absolute free form on this one, just because it's mid-season. We don't want to be here all night. So we're just going to be very loose, just take it as it comes, just see where the conversation takes us. Obviously, just hit on what we've done so far, all the good, any bad, and just whatever's in between. We were just talking just before we started recording, just about our sort of, it'd be fun just to start with the predictions and how we are at halfway house. Obviously, we're 6-2, losing to Dallas and the Colts in succession, and then storming back with the last three wins against the Raiders and the two New York teams. So shall I go through our predictions already at halfway house? Okay. So Phil is 7-1. He did get it right that we lost to Dallas. So good big ups to him. Stephen, you're 4-4. Was that right?
Yeah, I think
I've got 4 for you. Yeah. Okay. And then next we've sort of got Callum and Reese at 5-3.
Yeah, checks out.
Mm-hmm. And also Ian was 5-3 as well. Just keep my eye on. But actually, your host with the most is spot on. I was 6-2. Yeah. I was the bar humbug who took a loss against the Chargers, where everybody else put us down for a win. And also the Cowboys, which we should have won, really. But what a bonkers night that was anyway. He's just horrible.
That was just the worst night ever.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't know much I lied, but that Colts game was arguably worse for me because I was sat in the pub with a Colts fan. It was just like, we're awful watching that game with him.
That worse than watching it with someone else who's of the other team, and it's just absolutely awful.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we beat the Giants though, because I gave my Giants fan mate just so much stick. It were unreal.
Yeah, mate, if you give it, you got to take it. Do you know what I mean? There's no. I'm trying to work out what's worse: heartbreaking loss against a team. I know Cowboys are skidded now, but like a heartbreaking loss against a team that should be there, or a game where you play down to competition and really realistically the Colts who were never in it. It's like, what's worse? I can't really sort of the two of them work out which one I'd take, to be honest.
I mean,
the first half against the Colts was horrible.
Awful.
Just
it was shocking.
The comeback was like, hey up, we could be back in this.
Yeah.
So it was the bit I mean, both games were lost by a field goal, didn't we? Like both by 3 points. I think the Dallas one was worse, just because you look at that team now and it's they're pitiful, aren't they? Really, but
well, I think isn't he as well. So
at that point, though, I think at that point with the Cowboys, I didn't care who won or drew or lost or whatever. I just wanted it to be over. That's like it's about 6 in the morning at that point. And it was an absolute that was a slog.
6-2.
That was an absolute slog. And how you doing, Ian?
Hi,
Ian.
Sorry, I'm late.
All right,
Ian.
How you doing?
Dial-up's finally working.
He's put 50 pence in the meter. All good.
Wound it up.
We made a start. We just went through our sort of predictions halfway through the season. So it just says that yourself, Ian, was you predicted 5-3 at this stage, along with Reese and Callum. Stephen was 4-4, and obviously Phil was 7-1, which looking back isn't too bad at all. So I'm sort of 6-2, so I'm sort of hit it on the nail at the minute. But no, that will go totally pear-shaped in the next month or so. So, just on about the losses really. Which one was worse? Whether it was Dallas or the Colts game. So I don't know what you think, Ian. I think the Dallas one was a bit of a absolute shit.
That one. Yeah, it was just horrendous, that Dallas one for me. Horrendous.
Yeah, just the fact we're all dock watching as well.
Yeah, that was I was at the London game to watch the Vikings. So I got back to my hotel. I watched the early games, thought I'll have a 3-hour nap, woke up at 1 a.m. and was like, oh, the game will start soon. It did not start soon. I think that was the worst thing. It was at like 6 a.m. when they scored that touchdown.
I saw on like Facebook afterwards and Twitter afterwards, all the American it finished at 1 a.m. Like, try being a British fan trying to even a normal game, it's finishing at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You weren't there, man.
I can still remember when we played the first Euro final against Italy, and there were people whinging that the kickoff was at 8:15 p.m. And there were people whinging that they were going to be late. I'm like, 8:15? Are you for real?
Try 1:15.
That's a luxury.
Let me play the world's smallest instrument for you.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
You haven't got a t-shirt calling yourself an idiot. Who are you?
Exactly.
I mean, talk about self-depreciation. Exactly. Yeah. So you're right. Yeah.
I forgot to tell you guys though, when I was in the airport coming back from Pittsburgh, but getting our flight, we were delayed about half an hour. We were just wandering around the thing. This lady came up to us because I had this hoodie on for the podcast and the group, and just like, I didn't know you had fans in the UK. And we're like, yeah, there are a few of us that have travelled out for the game, so yeah, that were quite funny to hear, and yeah, so
I always do like a caveman sort of impression, like, oh yeah, me able to fly, lots of things in England, that sort of thing, you know.
Just be impressed that she knew that there was a UK Callum and just leave it there.
Very true.
Yeah, no, I'm University of Kentucky. But then there were at the Heinz museum, there were a bit on like American football and that sort of thing, and there were like a throwing challenge, and we told them from UK, and they were actually surprised I could actually throw in American football.
It's possible.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And to have limbs.
I didn't like try and throw it like a rugby ball.
I mean, at the fan zone in London, they do have a throwing challenge, and when you see some people trying to throw an American football, a smaller American football that's like deflated, it's no Brady joke, it was just deflated.
Yeah.
There were some shocking throws on the
I wish there were a kicking challenge. I wish I would have wished there were some kicking post somewhere.
Kickers aren't real people, Callum.
Give over, we are.
It's when you take 2 steps back and then 2 steps to the left. You know, just give the little hip shake and everyone's just going, all right, he's king. Jeez. Chill out. You know?
Doing the full everything.
Just give it a bit of Johnny Wilco as well, just, you know, out there, you know.
Nah, it's more like the Owen Farrell stare. It's just like...
Speaking of kickers, Callum, how do you feel like you actually saw your hero in the flesh?
If he would have made that 60-yard field goal, that would have been the best day ever.
Yeah, that would have been
wasn't already. If they made that 60-yard field goal,
of course, the one field goal that he's missed all season.
I know it's insane, that, isn't it?
What a curse you are!
At least the season has been on a downward spiral all the way after that.
I mean, if some certain people were having an absolute season, I think the MVP would be Boswell. He's just having. Oh well, yeah. To be fair, he's also a legend, isn't he? Too. I mean,
I'm on a similar kind of thing to Jason with like the dental thing, with how much chewing gum this guy has.
I mean, hey, you know what? What a life! He's 70 years old, loves his job, and he's just the absolute don, isn't he? You know what I mean?
There were video of him one of the games. He were lifting with all the linebackers and the tight ends in the weight rooms. It's
unbelievable.
He can't do that anymore because he can't lift up his arms up to here anymore.
Yeah,
because of like his was it KZ who ran into him?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and there was like Try and get these guys who are like £250, £300 guys running into you. I'm like, I'm 78. I can't do this anymore. Well, not in that accent, more like, but yeah.
But the jaw game is strong with the amount of gum he chews every weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So it's all good.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It's
Not airwaves as well.
fresh.
So I found out afterwards.
Yeah. Why? What were you thinking?
It's the only gum I had. It was just like,
Just
right,
go out and get
it's
some
either
bubble
happening
gum.
or it's not. So let's just go.
This video
I
needs
didn't
to come out.
I went to work the next day and I'm like, I need some chewing gum just for myself, but I didn't even click until I got the pack out saying, I can just post this here with just my MVP for the game.
That's because you're clever and I'm not.
I'm not too sure about that.
I think Reece suffered for his art.
I'm from Yorkshire, remember?
He was suffering for the art.
Tougher for the memes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't know we still did airwaves. That's the amazing thing. Like that it actually still exists. I used to have that as like a teenager in like the 90s when it first came out, you know, and it's just like it's still going. It's like wow, you know.
Is that what recreational drugs you had in Manchester at the time?
Oh no, that was like the I'm saying nothing.
Cricket
I can imagine you
I'm
did
on
more
there,
than
my friend.
But I've got a mate who's pretty hooked up. If you want anything, I'll give you a number after the podcast. Okay? Yeah, we're sorry. Fine.
Can you still get those airwave strips? You know, when you
Oh.
on your tongue and they used to dissolve.
Oh, there was a melt on the tongue.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Just have to see if he wants any of them. That'd be you know. I don't think
Not
it's
sending Danny Smith shit through the post. Chew that.
Yeah, have an airwave strip. Fuck off.
A delicacy in the UK. Here's some airwaves.
Yeah, this is crack cocaine. Eat that. Go on. That'd be hilarious.
Get him a late night idiot t-shirt at his age. 9 p.m. for a game is pretty late.
Yeah, I've got to send. You know, we did at the tailgate with Kenny. We did that little piece all together.
Yeah.
So I've got to send him a t-shirt because, ironically, I think I was one of the first ones to order one, but it only came yesterday. So I wanted to make sure I got mine first. So yeah, I will send. He wants one as well, so we'll send him one.
Not long to get to yours. I imagine how long it'll be to get it to the US.
Yeah, I know, a bit weird, but there you go.
By next season.
Well, I actually ordered mine. And it came 2 days later. Like, what this?
I think they hand delivered yours. Fucking hell, it was like ridiculous.
Yeah, like,
absolutely crazy. Yeah,
it was like,
yeah, because they always bang on about like it's 10 days, give us 10 days, and like they got yours in like 2. It was like ridiculous. I think they just shoved yours through the post, to be honest.
No, they were making it next door.
Yeah, they probably are, to be fair, you know, but no.
Yeah, well, there's a few of us now. So, when's our next late one? It's a Monday night. No, it's not. Is it?
No, Thursday.
Thursday, Cleveland.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah, Browns.
2 weeks time, isn't it? Yeah.
Thursday night football.
Yeah. So I expect all the t-shirts to come out on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Idiots watching idiots.
100%.
Should we talk about the Steelers then, or any bothered?
This podcast? No, surely not.
The Browns.
I guess the big question is, how surprised are we all?
I'm not surprised.
Not really, because we just
I know you're not.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting Nathan Peterman at quarterback, and you wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, I'd be pretty surprised if he was the quarterback.
2 and 6.
You just come back from the bye, and it's just Nathan
Apart
Peterman.
from the actual result, which is amazing anyway. Obviously, I think, apart from me, because I always just want everyone to win all the time. Just saying, it is in a lovely position to be in. I mean, obviously, we all know now, don't we, that the hard work starts on Sunday. We get that, but let's just enjoy while we've got it. And actually, just while we talk about the Steelers for a second, how nice was this bye week?
Yeah, it was nice, to be fair.
Those trade acquisitions, I'm happy with.
Yes, definitely. I love the fact of the trade. I love the fact we weren't playing. It was like we just needed to just reset.
It's a nicely positioned bye. Like 8 games and now 9 games. It's like slapping in the middle.
It's a classic one, isn't it?
Rather than 4 games and then bye. It's like, no, we don't need a bye yet.
It was like the COVID year when we had like a week 3 bye.
Yeah.
That
seems illegal.
Have a bye because the bye got moved, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
and then
COVID. Yeah,
that's
right.
Didn't
Tennessee got COVID.
That was. Yeah.
That actually came up on my
thing. Not that game, but like of the whole that season on YouTube. What a crazy season that was. I know probably
with no one in the stadiums. Yeah.
What a mental season that was.
I seem to remember we played the Ravens on a Wednesday night.
That was Wednesday, like 9 p.m. our time.
Yeah, they had one or something. Yeah, really.
It got posted. I think that game got postponed. I think it was 2 or 3 times.
It
was literally like just didn't know what they were going to do, and it had.
And then, amazingly, when the playoffs came around, no players got COVID. Weird that. Very strange.
Very strange. I agree. Yeah,
very weird.
No conspiracy theories here.
But
it's one of the biggest surprises. Sorry, Jason. Yeah.
That you picked them to lose a game.
No, that's the thing.
Let's on that scab.
Who did you choose them to lose against?
It was against Dallas. He works it out. Yeah, you got it right.
So he's picked the right one.
I think the worst part about the Dallas loss is that, like, going into the season, you think Dallas will be good, but they've been just awful.
Yeah,
which is why I think the loss is worse against them than the Colts, because at least the Colts, it's like, well, they had Flacco playing, and Flacco is just some.
And they just needed to make a start.
They're better with Flacco than they've been with AR, to be honest. So
that's why he's been dropped, isn't it?
Yeah.
His attitude stinks. Absolutely stinks for a pro football, especially at his age as well.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Fucking hell, mate. Get a proper job, will you?
Imagine
the entire Colts organization.
Imagine him saying that, and then Quentin Nelson trying to block for him after that. Like you won't be arsed blocking for him.
I'll be sidestepping, man. I'll be sidestepping.
Coming out some crap like that.
Yeah,
very bad. The way the Colts have done what they've done, they've fumbled it so badly. Like they either should have sat Richardson for a year, which
should have done,
or 2.
Kind of coming on to what the Steelers, what I think they wanted to do with Fields was sit him for a year behind Wilson.
100%.
But we were kind of forced into that just because of the Wilson injury.
Yeah,
they
of
had
course.
a choice whether to or not, because they had Gardner Minshew last year, so he quite easily could have just started that whole year and let Richardson sit.
Because how many games did Richardson play in college? Like 10.
It was. I watched Florida quite a bit, so it was many.
Should be starting for an NFL franchise.
He only started like 1 season, and he didn't play all of that season. He played probably about 9 or 10 games of that, and then about 3 or 4 the season before. So about 12 games over 2 years.
It's nuts.
Did anyone see that thing recently? I thought it was really interesting, actually. Just what we talked about, like, quarterbacks and all that kind of thing. How many quarterbacks have actually been benched?
Yeah.
The NFL, I've got, and you've seen the same thing. That says to me, doesn't it? Like, they're definitely a quarterback.
They've not been developed. It's like the COVID thing and developing kids at the college level. They just think
it's
go on.
Just the media and like the fans and stuff. And also like the owners and they put so much pressure on the head coach and general manager to start the quarterback week 1 or very early on in the season anyway.
Don't
so that, just go into it totally unprepared because the owner wants to see their investment on the field straight away. The fans want to see the new shiny toy.
That's the big one. They want to sell tickets. So it's a case of, with all due respect to the Colts, Joe Flacco will not sell tickets in comparison to what they are.
No.
I've been watching since '85. I'm the old guy here, and apart from like John Elway, who actually got benched himself, Dan Marino, and obviously sort of even Montana.
Both went to a really good situation, though. Denver and Miami were great situations.
Yeah. But even struggling teams because you didn't have that social media glare.
No.
At your headquarters.
You had time. Peyton Manning in his first year was dreadful.
Yeah, awful.
Really bad.
Awful.
Most
really
rookie interceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have time. And I hate to say this, it actually makes me feel sick. I think Tom Brady made this point in on some show.
He made a really good point
about this development. It's absolutely true. The development just isn't there anymore, and also the way the game is played.
I think it's the all NIL deals as well, things like that.
It is. Yeah.
The college quarterbacks get almost like professional kind of contracts while they're at college, and then they just expect the NFL to be a continuation of that. Whereas it's just not. It's a steep learning curve.
Massively.
Pro-ready quarterback.
Well, interestingly, because I don't really follow college football, but me and Jason were talking about this actually at the Pitt game, because I mean it was great that we were at that game, you know, just like experience college football, but it was a crap game. It was so one-sided, yeah. And we're having this conversation saying that, you know, Jason was saying, oh, like about different. Again, I don't follow college football, so you know, different rules, you know, for in college football. It's like, why don't we just consider it's like a leap into the NFL? Why don't we start getting them ready by having NFL rules? And Jason made a good point. He went, well, the reason why is because college football is the bridge between high school and the NFL. So they have to have that bridge, that medium in between, so we can get you to the NFL, if you like. You know, I can start doing it that way. So that jump from college to NFL is always going to be huge, because they're never going to play that the NFL rules for that reason, because it's from high school to college to the NFL, if you like. You know what I mean? So it's such a big.
If you look at just the quarterback position on its own, so the athleticism of the average defensive end in college compared to the average NFL defensive end in the NFL, it's child's play. You can't just, you know, and this is where it kind of links to Justin Fields' development, because in Ohio State, you could have an offense that revolved around, okay, one read, ain't there, go. You can't do that in the NFL.
And you have 3 NFL wide receivers.
Because you know, you've got corners that will shut them down that are too smart for that. You've got edge rushers and linebackers that are too athletic and too quick. In college, you might have 1 or 2 defensive players on the other side of the ball are at your level, you know, that you will play against in the NFL.
I was making this point to my dad as well, like, because obviously he's completely new to the sport. Yeah. He was saying like he was asking me just generally how many players will make it into the NFL from this, or say maybe 1 or 2. Maybe.
It's 1%, isn't it?
It's why when someone says, and you get this every single year, you get some knobhead that will come out and say, oh, you know, Alabama or Georgia would beat the Tennessee Titans right now, or they beat
the NFL has 53 pro-ready players.
They wouldn't even get a first down, lads. They wouldn't even cross the 50. Like
Alabama maybe has like 6 NFL ready players. An NFL roster obviously has 53 NFL ready players.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just not even close.
I think another factor of it is like there was this last draft I was reading is so much more O linemen, tackles, and interior linemen, like of a really good quality and quantity. Whereas like previous down the line, there hasn't been that much, and they've kind of been really starved for it of the NFL. And you can kind of see that with, like, say, the Texans with CJ Stroud and their O-line, and how much he's under pressure and how bad that O-line is. It's the same with Joe Burrow.
It's wrecking him. It's killing Stroud, that. It's actually killing him. It's destroying him.
That's a factor as well of just, like, they're just getting so like, shook about, like trying to make the play. But they're under so much duress because of that lack of talent that kind of like absorbed within, like, what was coming up from the NFL. It's getting better now, like we saw with this last draft and how many are coming through. But that's been a major, like, problem for, like, a lot of.
There's another factor to it as well, which, just to think about the cyclical nature of the NFL, which is like 20 years ago, even when Peyton Manning was 25 years ago when he was a rookie, the NFL was still a pass second, run first league. The only teams that had really made that work in the past were the 80s 49ers. Every other team was run the ball, throw on third down if we need to. So the emphasis was still on the running game, on the run blocking. It was on defense.
One thing I've been watching quite recently is the old drafts and stuff like that. Just see how much of a difference the ideological change in offensive are. Because I think it were 2011. I think it was Seattle drafted Bruce Irvin. They made a really good point saying, and in 2011 they made because he was a pure pass rusher. He couldn't defend the run whatsoever. They said 5 years ago he would not have been drafted anywhere near the top 3 rounds. Whereas he got drafted in mid-first round in 2011, did Bruce Irvin.
And that's the value.
If he was around in 2005, 2006, he would not have been drafted.
100%. And that's where the pressure on the quarterbacks come in now. They are expected to be that franchise player from day one.
Yeah.
Whereas even 20 years ago, you could have an Aaron Rodgers sit for 3 years and learn and wait and come in. Same with Jordan Love now. Most NFL teams don't have that luxury. So
going back to like 1970s days, Terry Bradshaw, if he had that rookie season nowadays that he had, he would have been straight out of the door, probably even before the season finished.
It's like when the Falcons drafted who's the new guy they've got first round?
Penix.
Yeah. People was like, why they drafted Penix? I could see the logic in it, to be honest with you.
He made a really good point to their GM. They might never be in that position to draft a quarterback like that again. So let him sit behind a really good throw.
Let him go.
It's not their fault that like everyone values quarterbacks so highly, and need to get them off the board. So if you found one that's like fits your scheme in a certain way, you've just got to go for him in round 1. Just got to get him, regardless if you're going to. Let him sit for a year. I think everyone should. Everyone should sit for a year from that like draft class, and because it's just time and time again, they all just like fall.
If you love a guy so much, then like if you love a player and a quarterback so much, you can wait a year for him to be ready.
Yeah.
But
I think that's shown that
are drafting these QBs don't have the time to wait a year because they're crap franchises.
Yeah,
it's like the Bears.
But they're if they're that crap, they're going to be probably crap next year.
Yeah, but
Chicago maybe not because they were.
You've also got a head coach who's basically he's the head coach, GM, the whole board. That quarterback is there. That's their. It rides or dies with them. Because they're the person that they. Yeah, they're the person that threw in. It's like if Patrick Mahomes hadn't have worked out for Kansas City, it's like.
Well,
you'd imagine where Andy Reid would be now.
Had Alex Smith though, didn't they? Already in.
It was, and that's the difference. That's the difference between the Chiefs.
If Mahomes had been drafted by the Bears, he wouldn't. He would have been 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
He would have been
if CJ Stroud had been drafted by the Panthers last year, they would still have been one and.
It's like the Bears are such an exact example of this. It's just like they're Justin Fields, and a bad O-line, and they ruined him. They get CJ Stroud, the number 1 pick. They still got a shit O-line, and they're ruining him.
I remember a few years ago we made this exact point though. I think it was actually Phil that made this point. It was round about when Trevor Lawrence was getting drafted, and it was Bill. Because obviously we were going into the next draft probably needing a quarterback. Build the offense around it first. Build the offensive line because you can have all the weapons and stuff like that. Offensive line, you're going to murder a kid.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, you can immediately see it now.
And the point's the same 4 years later.
Yeah. But the NFL, they're so quick to sack GMs and head coaches.
So much pressure.
But this is what I don't understand about the Colts. Ballard has been there for years. He has got that ability to say to them, look, we know he's a project QB. He needs to sit for a year, maybe 2, and we'll stay on the carousel of QBs. We might be bad, but we can get a good O-line. We can get a good pass rusher.
It's only 10 years ago.
This blows my mind about the Colts.
It's less than that. It's 6 years ago? You witnessed a perennial generational talent walk out of your building because he was so tired of basically getting hit for a living. So he just thought,
his interviews, he were a nervous wreck. Look.
Yeah. The Steelers are doing it the right way. That's to draw a line on that. We're doing it the right way in the respect of
just
running the ball, protecting the quarterback in that way. So we're doing it right.
I was just thinking 2016. some sort of that era. Jared Goff, first year he was atrocious.
Yeah,
but they still, and then they got the head coach and they got all the things like that, all the pieces ready, and it was just an extension of the offense. Let him, all these things like, oh, he's a system quarterback, he must be bad. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to be running around for 40 yards in the backfield, chucking 40 yards across your body like that. It's a NFL system. You're an extension of the offense. You are not the offense. You're just an extension of the offense.
So, following on from this, then,
and then now look at it now in Detroit.
Yeah, how do you feel? Fields has done, because I know we can move on to Wilson as well a bit later on, but I think this is quite a crucial thing because he is seen as being a potential franchise quarterback in the future, maybe. I know Wilson's doing all right at the moment and so on, but my question to you guys now is, first of all, how do you think Fields done in the first half of the season? Attitude, play, that kind of thing.
I think his attitude's been outstanding. I think
I absolutely agree.
He's took it on like you saw in the Jets game or the Giants game. Them two, they're
laughing head off.
You think Justin Fields have had so much hostility towards Russell Wilson, but they're getting on great. You can see Fields is learning under Russell Wilson, even when Russell Wilson was injured.
Yeah, and that is absolutely my point, because I don't think Fields was there to be there straight away, was it? It's supposed to learn under Wilson. And
we're always going to be there to learn. It just happened so they got an injury and he had to be step in day one.
Yeah.
But Fields has basically had to reset his career.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. It was kind of what the Jets wanted to do with Zach Wilson when they signed Rodgers.
But he got a new system.
It just never happened.
He didn't expect to go in week one. So the playbook wasn't maybe particularly his anyway. He probably more towards Wilson. So with what he had, I think he done outstanding. Is he the finished article? Nowhere near. And you see with Wilson how he throws a ball and how Fields will throw a ball or run first and ask questions later.
Yeah.
But potential is there. He's learning. I think the 6 games 4 games how many games did he play? 6. Yeah. I thought he did really, really well. And even showed some poise doing it.
He's learning from a quarterback who played like him.
Yeah.
In his if you look at Justin Fields, that was what Russell Wilson was in his rookie season.
Yeah.
That's
what he molds his game on that, and they've become good friends before they were even on the same team.
Yeah.
They've always been good friends.
When Fields was in college and high school, Russell Wilson was his hero, and he molded his play on him, and now he's learning behind him in the same building.
Fantastic, isn't it? It's absolutely fantastic. I love that, and I actually do see Fields as being the future of the Steelers, because he's not got the arm yet, which we clearly saw Wilson has got the arm. So I did notice that difference.
I think he just has. He has got the arm. He just doesn't know how to harness it.
Yeah. Okay. That's valid. Fair enough. Yeah. But at the same time, he has got the movability, and he's fantastic, and that is such a refreshing thing to have.
Yeah, that side of him is electric, absolutely electric.
Fantastic.
You cannot, get. It's just like a absolute chaos. It's a nightmare for defenses to work on.
Reminds me of Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if you guys saw what Dan Orlovsky did, where he showed the difference in terms of throwing time of release and then catch of the receiver.
Yeah.
He did a comparison between Justin Fields and then of Russell Wilson's first game. And I think it was a difference of 1.5 seconds from releasing the ball to the receiver catching it from Justin Fields to about two and a half seconds, which is a long time relatively for the flight of the. Basically, it means the receiver has got enough time to adjust and to be able to catch.
Well, Wilson's done that twice. Yeah,
it's a dime, but it's that time in the air to be able to get off a receiver and just give him enough time to adjust to it. Whereas, when it's a lot more faster, the receiver's it's a lot more on the receiver to be able to adjust really quickly. Get going.
And
so,
it's
like,
thrown.
He
thrown with
throws it almost up. It's like
anticipation
a
as well.
punt almost. He allows him to camp underneath it, and then he can. And that's what Pickens, and eventually it'll be what Mike Williams will do best. That they're that deep threat and they can go for the contested catches.
But this is the thing. How perfect is Russell Wilson for Justin Fields in this situation? Because that's really the one thing that Justin Fields needs to work on. Is his passing, and that specifically, and Russell Wilson has it in buckets
as well.
Yeah, it's the deep ball. It's not, I don't have a problem with Justin Fields' arm. I don't think there's any concern on that front. But it's the
red zone as well. It's the red zone.
Yeah, it's those occasional throws that require just a bit more confidence on Justin Fields to understand that
we saw that in Pickens.
It's either the one-on-one situations with Pickens, or there's a really common example that Justin Fields has. It's a bit technical, but it's throwing skinny posts on cover 4 quarters, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Where it will open up. It's just having the confidence to do it. And again, that's probably because Justin Fields, the way he throws at the minute when he throws deep, is he absolutely slings it. Whereas Russell Wilson has that touch. He gives his receivers a bit more of a chance. Hopefully Mike Williams starts to stretch that out. But the one thing I'll say about Russell Wilson at the minute, he's got an average, yards per attempt of about, is it 9 point something? Which is
ridiculous.
That will go down. That won't last. There will be a game or two this year where we just don't have those 2 or 3 splash plays. But
do you know what I do like about Wilson? Is that I'm always confident that he's going to see his check down, and there is always a check down, which is just a revelation under Arthur Smith, which it shouldn't be in an NFL system. But after years of watching Matt Canada not be able to get your tight ends,
I was going to say that's the other thing.
Whether it's Najee or Jalen, or whether it's Big Beast Darnell Washington.
You can tell since Ben has left, no quarterback other than Russell Wilson has had the freedom in an NFL offense to be given the keys to it. Where actually the quarterback has that ability to say, okay, this isn't going to work. We're going to go this way. We're going to kill it here. We're going to slide this. We're going to hot this.
Yeah.
I don't think Justin Fields has been given that luxury. Kenny Pickett certainly wasn't.
Nope.
So it's just...
But why would he be? Why would Pickett have been given that luxury? Because, if you think about it in that respect, we got Pickett as a rookie. He doesn't know yet. And I know he's, the difference between Fields, Wilson, and Pickett is huge, in the sense that Pickett was literally a rookie, whereas when you look at he was thrown in the deep end in effect, which is exactly what we've been talking about.
In his second season, it did start to be able to audible and stuff like that. There were a few cases, I think it was Baltimore at home, where I don't know how true this is, but apparently when audible, he changed to have Pickens run the fade down the sideline.
Yeah,
so
then
he was starting to have that
flexibility.
It just wasn't fully there.
I know, Canada was the worst thing imaginable for the Steelers offense.
But really,
trying to understand why they went down that road, it makes me think they must have thought, well, we're going to get a rookie anyway, so why don't we get a rookie coach? No rookie coach, a college coach.
Yeah, and make them learn together.
Comes straight from just meld them together and allow them to do a college style offense. I'm guessing that's what the theory was.
Well, they were kind of,
so there was a nice
like that when when the Eagles drafted Carson Wentz, because Doug were a first time head coach. It was kind of that sort of thing. It's they were learning together. It was very much an offense that had kind of was unorthodox for the NFL at the time with all the.
And it doesn't necessarily mean you'd carry on with
no
Canada afterwards. It's just the starting approach of getting Pickett up to speed. That's all I could think about. If the
getting Canada in, it didn't work.
I think Pickett
didn't work.
It would have been a bit better with.
No, it didn't.
But
that's what I'm guessing. That's what
a wonderful success.
I guess it's just a minefield, because you think about Big Ben, and he wasn't expected to start. It's only when Maddox went down that they had to put him in. Yeah. Next thing you know, he's won.
But we had a
40
proven OC then. We had Bruce Arians.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's all to do with system and everything else, but sometimes you just have it or you don't. I think it's sometimes.
Ben always had it. I think from day one, you
football brain or you haven't. It's not all about technique and everything else. It's whether you got a football brain, whether you're confident in yourself, and I don't know. Maybe Pickett just didn't. He obviously wasn't confident enough to take on Wilson in training camp, and he was out. So
what I will,
here's something for you to think about. What would you like to see next? Because at the moment, this is fantastic for us as the Steelers. We've got Wilson, obviously, and we've also got Fields.
But both are free agents at the end of the season.
Exactly. So, what would you like to see next? I mean, I'd like to, personally for me. I don't know about everybody else here, but I'd love to. It's all about money. I get that, but I'd love to see Wilson in some sort of short-term deal. I'm taking his age into consideration here. Obviously, we don't know.
The only reason we got him on such a cheap deal this time around was because Denver is still paying him so much money.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and it's whether that's going to be commanded, and that's the thing, and that's the key. And then obviously,
whether he still thinks he can get a $100 million contract.
But so he's chased that money, and he wasn't happy in Denver. And I said this previously. I think Mike Tomlin and his positivity. I know everyone says Russell Wilson is corny, but I feel like Russell Wilson's vibe gels with Tomlin's vibe.
Yeah, sure.
So
he doesn't need the money
more
anymore.
likely to stay with the Steelers for less money than he might get with some garbage franchise like the Jets.
Yeah, I agree with that actually, because I don't think Wilson's actually in it now for the money. He wants another Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and this is where I think he's probably got a good chance.
I think that experience in Denver has kind of tainted his experience, isn't it?
It's tainted his Hall of Fame chances, and this is his chance to reclaim his Hall of Fame candidacy.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know though, because even with the Hall of again, he's in Skip Bayless's Hall of Very Good. It's like, was he the reason why?
Bayless says.
I know. But what I mean by that is, was he the reason they won the Super Bowl, or was that the running game and defense
and the best defense?
Never won an MVP, never got an MVP vote.
No, but it was capable. It was capable, and that's the thing, right? Because with an NFL team,
I'm with Reese on this. I don't think he ever did really have a shot. He's not a Hall of Fame. He's not in that same bracket as Breeze.
No, it's not. It's not. But if he gets a second Super Bowl, if he gets a second Super Bowl, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, if he gets another one, yeah, for sure. Because then he falls into the second category. He falls into that category. Can you tell the story of the NFL without him in it? In which case, then yes, he becomes.
Which is why I think Eli Manning. You can't tell the story of the NFL without those two Super Bowls that he beat Brady in.
Correct.
Yeah. That's the only reason he goes into Hall of Fame. Eli Manning's a shit quarterback. I don't care what you say.
But
he'll be the worst quarterback in the Hall of Fame.
He is part of NFL history, and that's why he goes in.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think Fields long-term contract, getting locked in, getting learning under Wilson, try and get Wilson for a couple of years if it's affordable, if he's prepared to do it. But have Wilson.
I think you're going to choose one or the other.
I do. I don't think you can have both.
That's my dream.
I think that you could backload Fields' deal, give him a 4-year deal with a massive backload in on the year 3 and 4, then have Wilson for a year or two if he was willing to take a very team-friendly deal.
He'd have to do that, Wilson, in order to do that, because there's no way you can sign a big contract for Wilson at his age. But if he wants to go as a crack at a Super Bowl, and clearly the Steelers are prepared to give that opportunity, this is Wilson's
I just think somebody else
to do that.
For Fields. I think somebody else will come in and give him the offer that he wants, and I think,
I think there's going to be loads of teams coming in throwing money.
He will be our future eventually. I think take Fields and someone. I think this is Russ's year for him to show Fields the ways, and then give Fields the keys next year.
So if Wilson gets to the playoffs and wins at least a playoff game, you don't think they're going to say to Wilson, let's try again next year with an easier schedule?
Depends how much money he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's still happy on team-friendly deal, like maybe up to about $10 million a year, let's say, I think we take him. But if he wants more than that,
depends on his missus.
Take more than that for sure. I'd be stunned if he doesn't. He's not. he's not going to do the Brady thing of going, okay, I'll take.
I got you a Super Bowl win.
Do you not think?
You know,
is there a guarantee?
I don't think
he wins a Super Bowl?
I genuinely don't. I
playoff winning.
I don't think Russell Wilson's in it for the money anymore. I know he's getting paid by Denver, but that could have signed that contract. I think he's realised now that the grass is not necessarily green on the other side, even when getting a big contract, for example. He's set for life, but he's now literally talking about his legacy. And I think that's the question there now. It's whether he's going to it's a bit like Brady in that respect. Like I know you just said that, like he did do team friendly deals. I'm not saying he's going to go to that extent, but like if Wilson wants it, the Steelers is probably the best shot for him.
It will be a testament to how good a culture we have with Mike P as the head coach.
Okay,
because that's where you sense Russell Wilson being happier now than he was 2 years ago with Hackett.
Yeah. Right.
And that's the difference. I owe Russell Wilson an apology, by the way.
I do. I've said this in that fireplace with Phil.
The mug that I'm drinking off was a picture that Laura got a couple of years ago. You won't be able to read the caption, but that's me going, I am cooler than Russell Wilson. And I can remember on this podcast a couple of years ago, I slated him. And I am now eating humble pie and happy to do so.
But I
was a bigger critic. I was like, I can't believe you're putting him on and putting the Fields in. But
it's like,
even I held my hand up. It's like,
it just shows how like different quarterbacks need different systems. And you can't expect you can't expect to just sign a quarterback to be the savior. So many teams try and do that, to be the savior of the offense and be able to make all the plays. And it's like, no, that's what Denver tried to do with him. And he had a bad play caller, and it's like it was just worst fit possible.
Yeah. That Tampa Bay team was pretty stacked, to be fair.
That was, and Denver with Peyton Manning as well.
Yeah,
it's
the same. They just needed that QB.
So started with that, and then Brady, then Stafford at LA. But it's like all three of those teams were stacked, and with the deepest of respect to all three of those quarterbacks, they weren't the reason why they won those Super Bowls. Not the only reason.
No, I agree with that.
I
think Brady arguably in Tampa, yes, but no, Stafford in LA, no, and definitely not Manning in the Super Bowl.
He threw 3 picks in the NFC Championship game. They without the defense, they wouldn't have made the Super Bowl that year. So I don't buy that argument. I think Stafford was decent in LA, but again, that whole team was stacked.
To be fair, with that
LA won because of their defense, really.
Right. Like at least with the Steelers with Russell Wilson, it's not we are going after this guy because we're a piece away and we're going to throw money at it. It's okay, this guy is a freebie effectively. Let's just bring him in and sponge what we can from it. So at least that makes it better.
We've got a young guy we can fall back on.
It's no lose. We're playing with house money at this point. So
I've got something here. Go on. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, but you can see even in 2 games with Russell Wilson that the offense is built around him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
He's sort of elevated people as well.
Yeah, but it's like the whole thing is like the way the scheme works. I mean, I was really worried about him being under center and doing the play action.
The play action looks insane.
The play action thing, because he's never been good under center. But if you look at how Arthur Smith is treating him, he rolls him out to the right, so he's then got a clearer space.
Those little 3-yard outs to Darnell.
And Darnell Washington, So there's that early in the game to keep getting comfortable. But when it's just like a normal drop, like a normal one, and then still in the pocket, it's later in the game. It's always going to be a deep shot, and he knows that if he goes up to that, gets it enough, Pickens is really going to come down with it because it's a 50.
And now we've got him on both sides as well with Mike Williams.
Yeah. So
I love that.
If he stays fit, he's a big if.
What my point is, that whole scheme and everything has been built in from the get-go, from the start. They always had this designed for Russell Wilson to start.
Unfortunately, got injured
week 1. Yeah.
But how nice is it to have an offensive coordinator that can actually scheme off?
Yes, amazing.
Yeah. But it just makes a QB's life so much more comfortable,
Yeah. So, but to that point as well, how nice is it to have an offensive coordinator that can scheme that on the back of a running game that hasn't sunk on the back of what has been probably the worst injury list on the offensive line for ages.
Horrendous.
It's been really, when you look at the
6 different O-line combinations.
This is what makes that 6-2 stats so
amazing.
unbelievable.
It's amazing.
I mean, you look at the offensive line we should have had at the start of the season compared to what we have now. We don't have our number 1 draft pick for the year. He's gone.
We don't have our number 2.
We don't have our number 2. Broderick Jones hasn't panned out in the way that we would like, but he's also been playing hurt. He's not been 100% throughout the entire season.
We've got a rookie at right guard.
The right guard position's a mess. And despite all of that, I think was it the last 3 games Najee's had?
It's been pretty strong.
Games?
They finally worked out how to get holes for him.
It's been absolutely phenomenal.
So based on what you just said there, how bad the O-line's been injured. We've had a quarterback change. We've had, in effect, someone who wasn't supposed to be the quarterback was playing first because Wilson was injured and so on. There's dealt significant changes. At this point of the season, I've seen the articles to this, and I just want your opinion. At this point of the season, I know it might change. Tomlin's the coach of the year. And he is being talked of that. He had been said of that.
Diana Rossini is flagging him as that's my vote.
I think it all depends on how well Detroit do.
Yeah, I think it'll be Dan Campbell personally.
Manders maybe.
It's not always about the winning though, is it? It's about.
But I just think with how he's transformed this team, him and the GM, how they've transformed this team. I think the Super Bowl, if they win the Super Bowl, even make the Super Bowl,
they're not going to win a Super Bowl.
And he'll win Coach of the Year, I think.
So that decision to switch from Fields to Wilson, that's what's making him in these, Coach of the Year.
I'm thinking, may I do
standings. That alone.
Do you realise that even
maybe
even
how
well
Green Bay do with Malik Willis and with constant change between the quarterbacks, depending on how Green Bay do, maybe LaFleur.
Even higher up in the Steelers.
I've just looked at the odds. It's going to be Dan Quinn. It'll be Dan Quinn.
I forgot about Dan Quinn.
Yeah. Because I was
it
will always
first year coach there.
Coach of the year is always first, second year coach that comes in and builds a culture. So it's always it's like Bill Belichick won Coach of the Year like once in his whole career, and yet has like 6 Super Bowls. They never give it to the guy.
Whereas Dan Campbell's is his 3rd year, is it?
I think
something like that.
It will either be him or if the Vikings carry on it, maybe McConnell. But I don't see Mike Tomlin.
They're following Vikings a little bit at the moment.
They have stumbled,
yeah.
You know what might help?
What I loved about Tomlin was that though it actually said even the higher ups in the Steelers organization said keep with Fields, and he went, this decision is my own. This even before the actual
I don't get why you can't trust him.
I love that.
He's been the coach since 2007. I don't get why you don't fully believe in his decisions. Like, I don't get why the front office are trying to interfere in that. He's been the head coach in 2007, and he's the face of the team in some extent. Well, he is the face of the team. Why not just put your complete trust in him and let him make the footballing decisions? Why try and interfere in that? You're not Dallas. You're not.
Why wouldn't you trust
big head coaches?
Because, like you said, Fields did well, and obviously we're winning. But there's obviously limits to his game.
Yeah.
The person you brought in, like you said, has won a Super Bowl. He's experienced. He can do this. He can do that. Why wouldn't you put him in?
No, that's it. And you had 3 games
start from day one. When he's healthy, put him in.
You got 3 games left until you had your first division opponents in the Ravens. Yeah. So that's basically it. That's the decision making there. It's like he's healthy now, so we've got 3 games to see what we've got in him before we play the Ravens.
I think he proved me wrong.
Because Tomlin really, and every coach, so I'm sure they do, but he really puts an emphasis on division games and winning those division games. And he's just looked at the trend and said, "That's the only time I can do
division is like the AFC North's a bloodbath. It has been since since like Ravens became good. It's always been a bloodbath.
Oh yeah, there's no question. I mean, this is it's going to be so tough. But actually, in thinking about it, in a sort of, but at least from a quarterback's perspective and from a Tomlin perspective, we have actually got two very efficient quarterbacks. So going into this, Tomlin now knows the strengths of both these quarterbacks going into like literally the hardest schedule in the NFL at the moment. Like the second half of the season, we're equipped. We have got some shit hot quarterbacks that can, I think, potentially do this. You've got a quarterback who can run. There's nothing stopping Tomlin moving things a little bit throughout the games or whatever it might be if it needs.
Yeah, there'll be some red zone sets in there as we go the season where he'll put.
There's some cards still very much on the table that we haven't.
He's got a lot up his sleeve still.
There's camps come back. There's there's little pieces. Obviously, there's the two new guys as well. So and
you've still got Cordell Patterson as well to come in, who's again a Swiss Army knife of a player.
Yep.
Can line up in the backfield at receiver, in the slot, at tight end even probably. So you've got a lot to play with.
That's what I think Najee's been pretty phenomenal, to be fair. Because
yes,
he's sort of been doing his own work. So obviously he's there to sort of bish bash, defensive lines for later on in the game, and he's done that himself because he's had to. So he has these sort of very slow first halves, but he's done the hard work, and then the second half he's just ramming it down the throat.
The analogy I've got for this Steelers team in these first 8 games, I don't know if any of you are boxing fans, but Artur Beterbiev, who always starts fights slow, loses the first 4 rounds, and then by the end of the fight, you're wondering how did he win? Because the opponent is so gassed and has been hit so many times that by the end of it, it's like
it's like
that's exactly how the
old
Steelers
school
are.
football in that. You'll just get the little 3-yard runs, 3-yard runs, just
by
and then you'll gash them at the end of the game.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's keeping on with the run game, just banging you. You might not.
It was like watching the Steelers
will
like
break
90
eventually.
Steelers. It's like watching
that with the Raiders. It was that with the Giants. It was that with the Jets. It was like by the end of the game, you're looking at it, and every single run is going for 10 yards because the defense is absolutely gassed. But it's like, I mean, Najee's averaging 75 yards a game, for goodness sake.
I think the first 2 games, it was awful. It was awful. I think the first 2 games, it was awful.
He really struggled.
He really did struggle. But then he just something clicked.
Because the offensive line was switching all over the place as well. We've had last couple of games, we've had a little bit of consistency with it, and we're getting results in the run game.
Coordinator, new offensive line. It's got to take time. And to be fair, I said it a couple of weeks back as well. I think this was after the Colts game. I said, I don't think Najee Harris will last next year. I don't think we'll pick up his 5th year. I think he'll be in a different uniform. I don't believe that now.
Because I can't see how they can let him walk out the door.
No, because I think now Arthur Smith has actually realized, okay, some of the plays he wants to run, because Arthur Smith has always been an outside zone guy.
Yeah.
That's not Najee's running style. And
it's not our offensive line style.
No. And credit Arthur Smith. He's actually put his ego. This is the difference between him and Canada, where Canada was adamant, if I keep running these plays, they will eventually work. Arthur Smith put that ego to one side. Okay, scrap these kind of outside zones. They're not working. Let's actually go back to what we do best. Yeah. And the difference in the last 4 or 5 weeks has been insane.
It's had to change with the injuries to Warren and Patterson. If you're going to have him as the main running back, then
Warren can run outside.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
Hayward.
That's their bread and butter, isn't it?
I really like the use of Hayward as a fullback. I love that use of that.
The flip side of the run game actually coming on as well is that the defense just isn't on the field as much.
No.
Like when you look at time of play and compare it to 2-3 years ago,
30 minutes or 45,
and it shows. Like we haven't given up a point in the 3rd quarter. That is just a mental stat. Which whatever Tomlin is saying,
that's Tomlin at half time, just saying, right, we need to shut them down now. Come on.
But they're not shattered either.
No.
No, I love that. I love that. It's proper. It's better time management. It's better.
And our DB rooms, our DBs have been so much better these last few games than they were start of the season and end of last season. they're not just capitalizing on intense pressure. They're creating plays for themselves when we're not getting pressure up front. They're locking down receivers and we're capitalizing on to get turnovers. Like Beanie Bishop's been an absolute revelation because him, Minka, and whoever's starting up next to Minka had just been shutting down the middle of the field.
By the way, I love Minka. He done this season.
He's been
quiet.
He's been brilliant.
Yeah.
But he hasn't needed to do anything.
Everyone's saying that we should like trade Minka. Just don't. I aren't even watching the games. No. I aren't even watching what the hell he's doing because like fucking it's like
it's
they're not throwing his way because he's such a good bloody safety. Yeah. So it's
and
like
he's not needing to make those tackles in the box like he was last couple of seasons.
Exactly. He's got that's why you've got like Deontay Jackson and Beanie Bishop making interceptions because he's the clear up man at the end.
Yeah,
they're not throwing anywhere near Minka and they're not throwing anywhere near Joey Porter.
Exactly.
Fantastic. I absolutely love Minka. I think he's one of my favourite players, and he's so underrated. I mean, underrated is funny because I don't think anyone was underrated him. But like when you look at like there we are. I mean, like some of these tackles, I think he's averaging something like 4 or 5 tackles a game or something ridiculous. Like he's out there, but he's quiet.
But the only tackles he seems to be making now are if they get outside and they get a good run, he stops a touchdown and gives us the chance.
That's a job. Our corners are so much better at tackling than they have been last couple of seasons. That's what I watched when we went to the Chargers game. There were a tackle that Joey Porter made, which, oh my god, it were amazing. That tackle, he shed the block outside and just absolutely ran downfield and stopped for about a 3 or 4 yard loss. For a cornerback who's primarily just a pure pass coverage corner,
he's really worked on that.
Yeah,
really worked on that this season.
The cornerbacks tackling has been incredible.
Yeah. There's one defensive player that I think we haven't mentioned yet that needs the biggest mention of all, because I think when you look at Minka, why is he not in the box as much as he has been before? Landon Roberts has been a fucking revelation for this team.
He's so good at just running downhill and just hitting downfield.
Like a missile.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's like,
do you see that play made against Dallas where he literally jumped on the line and that could have won that game?
That's why that game's so bittersweet, is because that was like
that would have been
if someone had just been there.
Killebrew was the one who was like the closest to it, but then Dak was more alert. So it's like, if only like Killebrew with his like,
not just as a special teamer, but just as his energy on defense as well. But he's probably the best pure special teamer in my opinion, outside of like obviously the goats, kickers, and punters.
I know.
But yeah, in terms of just pure special teams ability, Killebrew's incredible.
Who do you say then? Based on what you've seen so far, got a second half season. To go. This was touched on the page and stuff like that. Most people said what has been the MVP.
Sean.
What's yours?
Sean Elliott. Just made a massive difference. Absolutely massive.
What, the defense is this?
No, full stop. Just
total.
Who's been your MVP so far?
I said Najee. Because
I would say Najee. Yeah, to be honest.
Yep.
I mean, it's Boswell for me, but Najee's just not far away at all. And I never thought I'd say that.
I'm saying Cam Hayward. I think Cam Hayward's just had an incredible.
He's
been great against the run, hasn't he? But I think with Najee, it's like, I mean, TJ's got the clutch. Has come up in clutch moments.
Yes.
Hasn't been that. He hasn't been productive in the sacks. It doesn't matter. He's been able to take the ball out, punch the ball out, whatever.
Because you're having about 3 guys blocking him at the same time. You're having the right tackle, you're having a tight end, and you're either having another tight end or you're having a fullback blocking him.
Yeah.
So he's got no chance when there's 3 guys on him every time.
But my point is, like, he wouldn't be able to make those plays, like, be at that point, at that peak level at the end of the game if it wasn't for Najee chewing down the clock, keeping the possession,
making them
one-dimensional, exactly.
Them...
See, you wouldn't be able to get those plays from defense if the offense wasn't keeping time possession. And a lot of that's down to Nagy being able to like.
You're not wrong.
I just think we've just been playing incredible complementary football though.
Yeah,
there hasn't been anyone that's been
pleasure, hasn't it?
miles and above the rest of the team. Everyone's playing as a unit. Everyone's helping each other in terms of all three sides of the ball.
It's now giving us more ways to win games as well, which is critical because the formula for the last 2 or 3 years.
Where we've been worried that we weren't able to keep up with the firepower of the big teams in the AFC.
It's like
we don't need Steelers.
If the Steelers don't win tops, so like turnovers and explosive plays, we don't win the game. It's as simple as that. Like unless we have more turnovers than the other team, and we don't have like the 2 or 3 big splash plays, whether it be a fumble recovery, a defensive touchdown, George Pickens catching like a 60-yarder or something like that, we don't win. It's like now we actually can win games conventionally.
But it's not just back to like the Chiefs aren't as good on offense at least as before. Right. So the whole conference is wide open.
So I've seen multiple Chiefs fans saying that the Steelers on Christmas Day is the game they fear the most for ruining a perfect season for them.
Really?
Yeah.
I can win that.
The Steelers on Christmas Day is going to be their comeuppance
because they've already played the Ravens, haven't they?
Yeah.
So,
once, it was the first game.
I actually genuinely believe that we'll beat them on Christmas Day.
So,
and they'll beat the Bengals already as well.
Check your records, Phil.
Remember that playoff game where
you're right.
The defense held them to like 3 points in the first half, and TJ scored that touchdown.
Yeah,
but then they kept giving the ball back to the offense, and the offense would go 3 and out.
TJ Watt scored that touchdown, and then it was like, right,
that's clicking.
We have awoken the beast.
But that's kind of like what happens with a lot of their games, though,
Yeah, it was the worst thing we could have done.
When you're playing a juggernaut in any sport, though, like they're all going about like Man City in the prime and stuff like that. Do not score too early.
No, what we did was we were facing the prime Mike Tyson and we slapped him in the nose. And Sorry, Mike. Sorry.
So many times.
And realised, shit, we've got a noodle Lambert.
Just did nothing. The defense was shattered.
Prime Mahomes.
Yeah, it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why.
Whereas now I feel like the offense would string together something. We would get a field goal or two.
And that's all you needed because you knew the defense was like legit.
The
you
thing
just
is,
needed a competent.
You get like 10 points from 2 possessions.
It has to because for me the Chiefs aren't the biggest issue this year. For me, it's the Ravens, how they look. I hate to say it, but to me they are currently in the AFC.
In the AFC,
they are the team. The Chiefs will be there or thereabouts. They always are. I don't care how bad they look right now. They'll be fine come January. They always have been.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is NFC. I think just Detroit just look almost unbeatable.
Yeah,
do you not think that Tomlin has something over Harbaugh? He knows how to beat Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And he knows how to beat Lamar. He knows how to keep Lamar.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting to see how we look against them. And to be fair, the Ravens are the ultimate definition of a script team. They always have been. If they get a 10, 15, 14 nothing lead, game over. I mean, like you just ain't keeping up with it.
But I think we've got a lot better secondary than we had last couple of years. So I think even if he doesn't run as much, we still kind of contain him, just because our secondary is better than it has been previously.
I will say though that Lamar's become such a good passer now than he's ever been.
But he was against Cleveland. He really struggled against Cleveland.
I still maintain though that's how you beat the Ravens is by making Lamar throw, taking that chance. I would rather.
Well, they've got Derrick Henry now as well, so
I would rather it came down to Lamar's arm than Derrick Henry's legs.
Yeah,
because if Derrick Henry's able to run it at the end, I don't want that.
Yeah,
I think like we had when he were in Tennessee, we had Robert Spillane who could lay a hit, and I think we do have that in the Landon Roberts. Landon Roberts can lay a hit.
The thing is, like Ravens have attended.
Upper body, you've got no chance of stopping him. Go low on him, and you've got a chance of stopping him.
The Ravens
it's more easy said than done.
The Ravens have a tendency of going to the pass later in the game, though, don't they?
Yeah.
And kind of like going off the run, and it's like
why
very strange like tactics.
Championship game.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what
design runs. I think they're called 2 design runs for Lamar all game in the AFC.
But it's like the loss against the Browns. It's like, where's Derrick Henry in this? What's going on here? So you're trying to, you're expecting Lamar to beat them with his arm. So I don't know.
Ravens have always played down to competition, though. It's always been their Achilles. I mean, look, they lost the Raiders as well. It's like, how does a team that good lose to a team that average?
I think that's a divisional problem, that because I think it's fair to say that
and the defense isn't as good.
I think we really
struggled.
Who's ready now for the next part of the season? I mean, I'm stressed as hell already thinking about.
I'll tell you what, I'm more stressed for the Washington game than some of the other games in our schedule.
I think the Washington game defines our season.
Because everyone before the season was like, "Oh, Washington it'll be tough, but it'll be a warm up game."
Circled win.
It'll be a warm up game for the rest of the schedule, like Eagles game onwards or whatever. So
Jason,
that's probably a toughest game on us.
Every single one of us. Hang on. Every single one of us took a win at the start of the season against the Commanders. Every single one.
Yeah, until we realised how good Jaden Daniels is.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see that.
From now on, it's like any team that gets a quarterback like a number 2 or the second quarterback even, we just flag them as like, they're going to make a massive playoff run.
So somebody trades like us for Fields and we get the second pick. Yeah, go for it. That's what I reckon.
I think the biggest issue is with any of the AFC North teams, well, not really any, just like probably the Steelers and the Browns. No, sorry, not Browns.
Just
Ravens.
The Steelers.
Just Steelers. Or the Ravens it's going to be injuries.
Yeah.
This is the biggest key, and that is going to be the biggest stumbling block to. Realistically,
we've got so much stuff, and we've got like the cavalry coming back, haven't we? Zach Frazier should be playing in next game. Cordell Patterson. There's there's
we got the new guy. We got Preston Smith coming in.
Nick Herbig coming back.
He likes him.
I love that.
In his first year, he can play as a 34 edge guy, but he can also play in the nickel package as that D end. And also we can even move him inside as well.
Do you know what? Apparently he requested a trade because he didn't want to be in a 4-3 defense anymore. He didn't like the scheme that Green Bay were playing anymore. So he wanted more of a 3-4 defense, which is what the Steelers play.
So it's 15% of this.
I was just thinking about this. No one plays at a 43 or a 34 defense anymore. Everyone plays like the nickel package defense. Hardly anyone, and that may change obviously with how offenses are doing with this, like the whole too high shell thing. It might change, so we might play more base. But just recently, the last few years, hardly anyone's playing a base 34 or 43 defense. It's all a nickel or a dime package defense.
I think it's one of those things.
You don't let these defenses run what coverage they want, Callum. It's like, if you want to run too high, you run too high. You knock yourself out. You be a Keith Butler defense that gives up 3rd and 16.
Yeah.
You do that.
I'm just quite curious about offensive coordinators. How many have actually got a Tash? Because I think that's the defining factor about how
here we go.
Well we actually are as an offensive NOC. Well, no, I've just there's no logic behind it. It's just got a Tash.
Oh, you teed him up for nothing, man.
Magic before. Wow. Okay.
I mean, in the 80s, all the porn stars had a Tash, didn't they? You know what I mean? And they got the women. Yeah.
Right.
Is this the analogy for the game?
So are you trying to say that
work out what animal it's going to be?
Right.
This is our porno.
Are
Right.
you saying that the Steelers are Ron Jeremy?
Yeah.
Well,
Think about that.
Yeah.
He's now thinking that's a better
Horrible.
analogy than what
A
I
horrible, fat,
He's a bit of
sweaty
a-
machine.
Right.
he's
Ew.
a bit of a nut
Are we
job,
trying
though,
to
isn't he?
imply here, Phil, that if we had Tom Selleck as our offensive coordinator in the
Oh,
90s,
yeah.
we'd have won like 5 more Super Bowls? Because I
Yes.
don't believe you.
Yes.
Oh, Callum, if you want to know who Tom Selleck is, just
I know who Tom Selleck is.
Shut that down.
I've seen the old Magnum PI film.
How dare you, Reese?
I know, yeah. Oh,
I don't know
Boomers
whether
over
this
here,
is
sorry.
barrage, but is
I
Holcomb
do
on his way
live.
back?
I do have parents still.
He's making waves, is Holcomb, but I
We can
don't.
vouch for that. We can vouch for that. He's got parents. We can vouch for
he's
that.
got parents.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're one of the carers.
Oh, no, you still haven't paid me yet. I'm looking after him.
Yeah, you're not getting a penny off me, Dad.
Mm.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Yorkshireman,
there's
of
the
course.
Yorkshire
Oh,
right there.
Yeah, oh, too right. Yeah.
That was brilliant. That actually, all through. I absolutely love your dad. It's fantastic. All through.
Do you want to live with him then, please?
Yeah.
It was just when we was in that bar and that woman from South Carolina bought us all a beer. And your dad was like, well, I'm not owing you one. Do you want to take it off?
Humor though, he's been like that.
Yeah,
for as
you
long.
pay her back. It's hilarious.
But then it was like,
And then she was like buying the most expensive cocktails in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you drinks for no reason?
God knows.
No, they were getting hustled, mate.
Oh, mate, having a British accent gets you so far. I love it.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, but we were in the lift. We were in the hotel lift in our hotel. They thought we were Australian.
Oh, for
Yeah.
God's
We had that.
Some people.
Right. British people can have more than 2 accents. It's not just Cockneys or chimney sweeps or Queen's
Yeah.
England.
Yeah.
Deary me.
They hadn't had a clue what Jason was saying.
Yeah,
I
well,
did get-
apparently, you had a clue what I was saying either. You can ask Kenny about that. It's like, he thought, wow, your accent's really key.
To be fair, the last day, our last beer, we went back to what was that seafood place we went to
I know what you mean. Yeah.
after the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
we went back there
We were
during the
watching the
day.
Kansas City game, weren't we?
Yeah, flipping out. I forgot what it's called.
Redbeards or Red Cock? No.
Roland.
Roland.
Yeah,
That
that's it. Yeah.
We were in there, and the bartender was speaking to us, and he turned to me and he went, "Yeah, you sound like Rob Halford from Judas Priest," and then just sort of walked off. And I was just like, "That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do."
I'll take that.
Take that.
Close
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
That
He's
works,
better than
yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne, who's like nearly crippled and can't speak anymore. So I'll take Rob Halford. So, but yeah, it was fun. It was good.
It was when we got those signs as well. We were writing where we were from. But I knew my mum would go mad if we didn't write exactly because she
Specifically.
like north specifically where we
I was
might as well
wondering.
might as well put home address, postcode, everything.
I was going to say. Most people just put UK. That's
That is the
enough
most
for the
Yorkshire
Americans.
thing.
Yeah, I put
Honestly,
Oldham.
it's like-
I put Oldham.
What'd you
It's like, what?
North
God.
Featherstone.
Like Jason
Actually,
was like
no.
saying you should do like a posh area in Birmingham if there is
North Featherstone.
There wasn't one. There ain't one.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just put Oldham, and no one.
No one-
Whenever anyone goes there, where are you from? Manchester. But for some reason, I just put Oldham. I don't know why. It's just
You know,
one of
I
those
have
things.
to always say Leeds. I'm not even from Leeds.
Yeah. Well, no, this is it. I'd say
You pick a
Leeds,
good
and I'm
time.
miles away from
Yeah.
it. So.
Yeah.
I'd be like, so Ipswich. How do I? Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's nice.
Nah,
Like,
great.
You know
London,
the
Fingers,
London, mate, London.
everything.
yeah, it's not worth the
No,
back and forth.
No.
Oh god. But I will say for like the purpose of this podcast, it is 1000% recommended even that if you can pull it off, go for it. Just absolutely fucking go for it. Just get your ass down there. I'll tell you something. It is something else. Just ask for advice, look into it, do what you're doing. But yeah, that trip was just shit up. I mean, like absolute was shit up, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah,
it was.
and it wasn't just about football either, and obviously that's
No.
the main reason.
Yeah.
There, but It's just
that's a surprise.
Well, it was great for like me because I with my dad who necessarily isn't an NFL fan. Like he loved the city.
It's just great. It's beautiful.
And the pickles.
And the people are so I've been all over the States, and I've been to like places like Houston and LA and whatever, East Coast, Philadelphia, which is rough as hell. And I've said to Phil numerous times, even where we stayed, like Serial Killer Alley, it wasn't actually that bad, and I felt so safe in like an American city.
It looked really rough, like where we were, but it looked like a serial killer, like a brothel place. And in fact, right next to our Airbnb, there was it's like I think was it like a prison guard kind of thing or something?
It was a correctional centre.
Yeah, body armor, guns, everything. Yeah.
Were you in the Deliverance?
We felt like it.
It was cheap.
But it was cheap. Fine. But you know what? It was clean. It was very clean. The area is clean. Very safe.
No, well, we stayed in Lawrenceville. It was lovely where we stayed.
Yeah, I like to connect more.
You're giving me the hard sell for my honeymoon here. Well, right. So I know the perfect place. It's near a correctional facility.
I don't think it's you that we need to convince me.
What's really funny? What's really funny is when we first got there, we went for a walk. You know, got out the place and like, what the fuck is this and stuff like that. And then we saw Heinz Field, and I think me and Jason just had a moment. We just sort of looked up down the street, then we were just like, fuck me, that's amazing. And then we looked right to the right, and you had a Wendy's and a McDonald's right next to us.
We had a Wendy's right outside our hotel.
Yeah. And I said, we're going in that Wendy's, aren't we? We didn't actually go in.
We went there for game day. We went there before the Steelers game.
But I did go in the Mackey's because I had to get like some sort of like bocce or something, just like because I just needed some food, and I think I spent about £8 on a really shit burger. Just like, what the hell? It weren't cheap, the Mackey's over there, but I had miles better food actually in Pittsburgh. Miles better. You know, like
the best night I enjoyed was when we were in Primanti Brothers, and then the lights just went out on the block.
That was my favourite night. That.
So we were just sat in Primanti Brothers in the pitch dark, just with our phone torches on, just eating these sandwiches, and then we were chatting to these Irish guys at the bar.
Were they Irish? I thought they were American.
Well, one couple of them were Irish.
Canadian or something, wasn't he? Yeah, there was a guy that had
emigrated from Dublin, and then there were an American guy from Pittsburgh, and then there were another guy elsewhere in the States.
And you're giving them shit for saying you're Australian?
We did tell him. What's really funny though is he said something like, "Callum, you sound Australian," but they have no mistaken about your dad.
Oh no,
that's like 1,000% level Yorkshire.
Oh, my dad's probably the most Yorkshire bloke you'll ever meet.
Absolutely loved it. Yeah, but even then going into like the strip district, I knew I was home on the first day. I think it was. We went down to strip district. There's a big fucking duck.
We went to our breakfast place, and then you guys joined us.
Yeah, that duck. I actually gave that duck a hug.
Inflatable duck.
Yeah, I give it a hug. Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, you know, doing the tailgate was an experience, obviously. And then Tyson Alu was there. He's just like, geez, could this get any better, sort of thing. So, yeah, and he was so friendly. Yeah, he didn't mind at all. And obviously, you know, Kenny was like, yeah, they're from Britain, so have a photo. And he's like, yeah, come over. Yeah, it's just a great trip. Just I have set up like a. I have set up like a travel on the group, so I just need to fill it in, so people that have been can, you know, fill that in at some point.
Cool.
I have got to say, just for the first of the podcast, thank you to Kenny and the gang for that. If you're watching, like at some point, because that was a truly amazing experience. You know, like, so obviously you got the game and all that sort of shit, but like it was really nice for you to invite us down, to the tailgate and stuff. That's a really cool experience. It's not the sort of thing that no one just get. So that was amazing. That so that's why I just mentioned that.
Where are we? To 10 o'clock. Do you remember your Super Bowl picks at all and your dark horses? Be interested to go through that.
I think I remember who I did Super Bowl. I can't remember my dark horse.
Go on, refreshers. I'm quite curious about it myself, actually.
Okay, Phil, you had obviously the Steelers against.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, against the 49ers.
I know that's funny, isn't it? It's what
like the one you closed on is the one you were joking about.
Yeah. Your dark horse was the Packers, which is still in contention. Still a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. Stephen, you had the Texans and the Lions. Texans have gone off the ball, haven't they? Yeah.
I didn't account for the bad O-line, so I'm like,
yeah, that's been a hit, that.
And the fact that Kendrick Green could be playing now, so their outlooks are pretty bleak. But,
dark horse is the Rams. They're still there or thereabouts, just about.
Well,
I don't know.
Now they're healthy again.
Yeah, well, this is it. I completely wrote them off like in the first 3 games, going, right, that's that over with. It just shows Sean McVay and that whole system. They're gonna that whole division's completely to play.
Oh, that
division.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I find it interesting about the Rams though. They've had a lot of trades of players going out of the team.
Travis White
because they're about to hit
Ravens.
stuff like that.
Mike Williams and said we need help. So they got Travis White.
Yeah, well, this is a
when Stafford is finally done. The only team I can imagine that would be in a worse situation than them is the Saints in terms of cap hell and
well, they're like getting rid of Lattimore now, aren't they? Anders and just offloading. I think they've realised that we can't just keep on throwing the can and being in cap hell forever. It's like
Detroit have made it perfect. I think build through the draft, no matter what. Build through the draft.
The thing is, with the Ram situation, it's like if you went up to a fan and said you'll have 5 to 10 years of abject misery, cap hell, struggles, but you will win a Super Bowl take your hand off. So you can't blame him for that.
No.
The issue with the Rams. The issue with the Rams is right. There's 5 women lined up, right, and the guys shag the first bird and come.
Be careful. Even if you don't know gangbanging here.
It's all right. It's post watershed.
There's nothing.
It's recorded, remember?
But now he's got a floppy here.
Got a what?
A floppy for the other 4 women. So
a floppy?
That's a Ram. A floppy.
The floppy. What do you think it is?
Oh, okay.
Who's next? Who's picks the next?
Jesus. That's the Rams. That is what the Rams are at this moment.
He's got 4 women lined up. He's got a floppy. That's not good. I mean, come on.
That's what it is. Definitely.
Callum, you make me sick. You've gone for Chiefs and Detroit. It's probably going to happen, isn't it? Fuck's sake. Your dark horse was the Bears. Boom.
That's quite funny.
Slowly getting found
I
out
actually
again.
thought I went with Vikings and I was pretty happy with that, and then I realised no.
I want the Vikings to win.
Changed my mind last minute.
I would absolutely love the Vikings to win. Like if it weren't the Steelers, I really like the Vikings.
My DB coach is a Vikings fan. No way.
I'm not disappointed with the Lions winning, but like I'll be very happy with the Vikings winning as well if we had that opportunity. If it weren't the Steelers, obviously. Yeah.
Reese went with Chiefs and 49ers. Dark horse was the Colts.
Basically, we're fucked, aren't we, with the 49ers? I don't know what's going on with them. But injury, clearly.
Injuries, they're just
injuries bad.
But I will say that division is still anybody.
All 4 teams are still well in it. Arizona look half decent.
They played some really good football.
I hate Arizona. I'm actually frustrating the shit out of me. I mean, they have like the shittest uniforms ever. They've got the shittest fucking logos ever.
They have the most
shittest.
Shut up.
I fucking hate Arizona.
James Conner. Tell you what, James Conner, man. Hands up to him. He's balling, absolutely balling. I watched that game, and he was immense.
Marvin Harrison Jr. looks good as well. He looks special.
He had a dodgy fumble. He didn't play too well, but Connor was, he was great. Good to see. Ian, you had the Texans versus the Eagles. With your dark horse, the Steelers. Do what? Huh?
What was that?
I can't remember.
The Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. Not the band, the team. Hang on. What did I? Oh, I had the Bengals versus the Eagles. That's not going to happen.
Oh, that's a horrid.
How the fucking hell did you pick the Bengals?
What did I pick the Bengals?
You cheer as a Steelers fan in that. Like, that's
Bengals rather than watching the Super Bowl a few years ago.
It's just a comeback. Don't shoot the host. What's going on?
No. You can't.
Fuck you, Bye.
So I think a couple of years ago we all picked the Ravens to reach the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I think.
Yeah, that's very true. No, pick the Ravens. That's very true. Cool. What's been your favourite moment so far that's made you laugh or whatever? What's been your favourite actual little moment?
Like my biggest moment, and I know he's going to bias this, but that second half of the Chargers was the best we've ever seen the Steelers play. I fucking loved that. And I know it's biased because I was there. I've not mentioned that, but but that was absolutely spectacular. And to be fair, from what I understand from like the game chat and everything else as well, that second half was perfection. It was just a glorious thing to watch. And so for me, so far this season, that is it for me. That was just mint. Oh, and Renegade. What the
in the Jets game when Minka blocked the PAT and Danny Smith ran into the referee on the sidelines.
That was one of my favourite moments. That was just
we looked like he just got a massive ball of chewing gum in his mouth.
It's just Darnell Washington catching a ball. It just makes me laugh. I don't know why.
He looks bigger than any
A close second is when it was the post-game press conference with Bo Nix after the Steelers game, and they're asking him, "What did you see when through that pick?" I threw the ball, the Steelers DB caught it, just as blunt as that.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Oh, I've got to say, I have got to say, there was a bit that I really did have a massive smug look about when the camper looked at Tomlin.
Oh, when he glanced over.
Yeah, and Thomas went like that, and I was like, dude, I love that. That's like
him and Aaron Rodgers having a little a little nod to each other when
quite funny
on the field. No, I got two. One is serious, one's not. Deshaun Watson's Achilles, giving up the ghost. That was quite funny.
I'm just serious for a minute.
That's hilarious. Russell Wilson.
But it's shamed. It means Jameis Winston is actually getting the Browns good again.
Oh, they'll play better now. They'll play better now without him, which is ironic. Russell Wilson's touch throw, George Pickens on the pylon against the Giants, because that was the first throw in about 5 years as a Steelers fan that I've looked at and gone, oh yeah, we're in business now. Like, with all due respect to Fields, he's not making that throw.
Yeah,
and now
that was super. That was
we've got a good.
You haven't had anyone who can make that
a good version of
the Killer Bees era.
Yeah.
So George Pickens just air blocking is hilarious as well. It's just fucking. He's such a
funny things.
Beanie though making two
good boy
interceptions in a game. That's something, isn't it? Little Beanie. Oh
yeah.
But that's funny. It's like Little Beanie. It's a fucking man mountain. It's like, oh, you cute. But it's like, I'll fucking kill you. You know what I mean? It's like, there we go.
That pick he made in the Jets game where it was behind the Jets receiver and somehow he snuck in front of him and picked it off. That was just incredible. It was such a great play.
That was very, very. That actually reminded me in some respects of this guy there, but that was so quick and like straight in. You know what I mean? That was very Troy.
Yeah, just the
now
instincts.
obviously that's too early days and stuff like that, but like that one play, like just said then, Callum, that was very, very Troy. Like straight in, out.
Just the instincts from him.
Yeah,
just
I love that.
Instincts.
There he is.
Just
line him up in the C gap, Jason, just to piss certain punter off.
Oh, Lord and Saviour Pat McAfee.
I have got to tell you something that was quite funny. We went in the Hall of Fame Museum on the Monday, and which I've also got to say it's fantastic. It's worth doing at least once. Amazing experience. If you can afford it, yeah. The 150 quid.
Jesus Christ.
Each way.
Phil, tell them how much you spent on a jersey though at the stadium.
You can't. Shut up, Callum.
No. Let him cook.
Yeah. So back to the Hall of Fame.
Jeez.
It was quite funny because like he bought the Bettis jersey, and I was like, "How much was that?" And he looked at me like steely eyed. He went, $150, wasn't it, Jason? I was like, "Yes, Phil, it was $150, but it wasn't."
How
An extra zero.
How much was it?
Double.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice though. It is nice.
Serious.
Yeah.
It's fucking sexy.
It better be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be gold plated for that money.
But anyway, went in the Hall of Fame Museum, right, and he had all this really shit up like stuff, including magnets, which I like. And they actually had Kenny Pickett wobbly doll things.
Bobblehead.
Yeah, little bobbleheads like this.
Random.
Like reduced from like 50 quid, $50 even, to something like $5. And it's like they were still there. No one was buying them all.
Still too high.
Yeah, and
would it be politically correct to paint him and change the name on the back to Waitman?
Silly boots.
On that note, good night, guys. You know what's funny though, actually.
Again after this.
you know, it's dead funny actually. I mean, Jason both watched it about a bit away for it, and we didn't expect this. I don't know if you noticed this, Callum. Like during the actual pit game, they were like, "These are all the players that have been in the NFL and it's fantastic."
No, those were awful. Those mascots were horrendous.
Yeah, but they went through
Larry
everyone.
Fitzgerald one looked nothing like him.
No, but they went through like all these like plays of like NFL players that have played for like the pit. Like yeah, absolutely. Guess who they actually missed? Guess who didn't make any mention of anyone? Yeah, clearly.
It got played before and it got booed like you won't believe.
Yeah.
But they had these people in mascot suits of like they had Dan Marino, Larry Fitzgerald, and Mike Ditka. Those were the most horrendous mascot costumes I've ever seen in my life. Literally, the Dan Marino one was just a generic 80s hairdo.
How was the Ditka moustache, Phil, for you?
I can't remember him even having a mustache for some reason. I don't think the player, when he were a player, I don't think he had like a tiny.
Oh, right,
yeah. You couldn't. I didn't realize until you saw from the back and it said Ditka on the back. You didn't realize that it were him. But the Larry,
I know Mike
Larry Fitzgerald one were horrendous.
I know he's a Hall of Fame player as a tight end, but for me, Ditka has always been like
the coach,
old man, cigar, moustache, the pullover. Like I can't even. I don't even picture him as a
coach.
He was one of the first real receiving tight ends, so he was kind of like a pioneer for the game.
Yeah, he's the the Bears defense and Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And trade the house for Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
I'd also like to mention something that was quite amusing. Just while we're going through all this, well, went to the Hall of Fame, and again, it's a really, really amazing experience and stuff like that, right?
They
And
pay.
we went through.
Hey, Bruno,
Oh, no.
This podcast is sponsored by Canton.
This is what this is.
But the thing is, right, so we went through all these really, really shit busts. Because like the majority, I mean, some of them are really, really good, but some of them are really fucking
But there
shit.
are 5 of them in a row.
Were cancelled because they were going to Ohio, and you realised they were going to Ohio.
Yeah, no, it's just like what the goddamn, and the thing is, right. So I spent ages looking through all this stuff, and then they went, right, you've got this show thing, this like hologram thing or whatever. So like, do you want to watch this? It's like, yeah, well, we've gone all this way. We spent like every $300 like round trip. So fucking, we're doing it, right? So we're in this locker room, and to be fair, the effects were really, really cool and stuff like that. It was really amazing and stuff like that. And they had these like holograms and everything, right? So it was talking about the Hall of Fame, like it was getting dead deep. Like it was saying like each individual player is not just part of like their individual teams, like status, if you like, but they're like a team of NFL greats, like an inspirational, you know what Americans are like in that sense. They're like, oh yeah, it's all fantastic, it's all grand and big and all that sort of shit, right? And it's like, no matter what happens, they can do no wrong. They'll always be in here. They're always amazing. But the thing is, what's really, really, yeah, that's my point. I took a fucking picture of old Dave Simpson and nearly threw a fucking glove in there as well. And it's just like, on the bus, it's like, what the hell? And it's like, these people are like inspirational. What? So you want to go and murder women?
Allegedly.
Is that
allegedly? Yeah.
Is that what the NFL is saying? It's like, okay, so like basically, right? So you're going to be fantastic by murdering women. Hang on a minute.
Allegedly.
You've got a shovel for Phil.
Phil, unfortunately, I have to do libel is a thing.
He's dead.
Like, he's dead.
He's dead.
So to bring this back to what we were actually talking about.
I should be saying this. I'm a trained journalist. I should not be saying this.
It just made me laugh. I'm inspirational. Fuck off. He fucking killed two people. You mad bastard.
Allegedly.
Oddly enough, I don't think the Kardashians will be watching our podcast.
Oddly enough, I don't think it's going to get ahead.
Right, I'm getting the first fucking bus to Oldham tomorrow. Like,
in all fairness, the Kardashians made a bomb out of that, so I bet they're complaining.
So from one running back to another.
Segue.
Great link.
Oh yeah, getting us back on subject, are we?
Sorry. Najee Harris punching in against the Jets when the score was already beyond the Jets.
Oh yeah,
was very anti-Steelers, but it was fucking awesome.
Well, in our game, we thought it was going to run in for a score, and then he took a knee at the 1 yard line.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah. We were just like,
the crowd. He went into the crowd as well, didn't he? Like Green Bay style, like he went into the.
That was
Mind leap.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. I've got a question for you, a genuine question. How good's our new punter?
What?
Oh, it's 10:30. We haven't got
No, come on.
Don't get Callum set off on the punting button.
I'm gonna be Callum just.
The fact that we haven't heard much from him is very good.
That'll do. Brilliant.
Presley having slicing every other kick.
Very good. Yeah, very good. That'll do.
That'll do.
Right.
He's no Boswell.
Yes, that was. Yeah, sure. Yeah. That was fun. I enjoyed the sort of loose form, and obviously we chatted about quarterbacks for probably most of it. But yeah, it was a great chat. Something different. Yeah, but it's just nice to do it sort of midway. You'd have to be sort of too serious with it. Yeah, so thanks guys for turning up as per usual. Thanks Ian for turning up as well again. More than welcome. No worries. Obviously we'll try and get back and do hopefully after the Super Bowl, we're all wearing merchandise with Super Bowl winners on it. Who knows? You never know. So that might be the next time you see it.
If it costs as much as that shirt did.
Fuck off.
Callum, in all fairness, he needs all the legal fees he can afford now, so I won't worry.
I think he'll be selling that shirt tomorrow for sure. So yeah, enjoy it while you can, Phil. Cool. All right. Obviously, we'll have the game thread for 6 o'clock against the Commanders. Be a tough game, but it's probably a defense he hasn't seen before. So I think we'll give him some problems. Obviously, they'll give us some problems as well, I presume. So yeah, should be a good game. So yeah, that's about it. That wraps it up. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. It was good fun. Good to chat to you as always. And we'll see you all very soon. Bye. Everybody wave. Good boys.